Hey everyone, back for another
So,
review, and this time we're reviewing Point Break, the newest remake that came out on Christmas Day,
from
and
what the '90s,
from '91.
from the '91's Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves movie.
Yep. Now a little backstory: I really loved the original movie a lot. I thought
Yes.
that film it was great. It's it's cheesy. It's
Yeah.
very macho. It's everything you expect for a '90s action film.
Yes, it was. It fit for its time with the surfing era. It was during the times of the surfing.
Yeah.
Surfing was something big that went from the '80s and spilled into the '90s, the
Yeah.
early '90s, and then it kind of faded away. But overall, like backstory, the original
It's a classic. I mean, it's not a perfect or anything, but it's still, if you love Patrick Swayze movies, you love
Yes.
Keanu Reeves. Those two have great chemistry in that movie. You know,
Yes.
it's a great heist film too. You know,
Yeah.
it's what you call very charming.
Yes.
You know, too. But
Okay,
anyway,
then came to the trailer, seen Point Break. Me and you had really scary speculations.
yeah, at first I was just kind of like, well, it might just be forgettable, you know, because
Yeah.
I don't go into remakes hating them. I just kind of think it depends on what I watch. You
When
know,
I
if I see
first heard this movie was coming out, I really didn't want to see it. I was like, that's something like they don't need to make.
no,
It was really didn't need to be made. Then as I seen the trailers, I could say maybe the trailers kind of touched me a little bit. I'm like, maybe, just maybe.
Yeah.
I'll go and give it a check.
I mean, I said to myself, all right, I'll check it out, but before I do anything, I want to watch the original first, but just to refresh my memory on how the remake.
I had to do the same thing too.
So we watched it literally.
It.
Watched the original right before we watched the remake in the theaters, and so got into it. You know, classic. And going to the trailers from the trailers. I'm sorry, going to the film. The trailers really shows a lot of scenes where they're surfing and all that. But from what I'm speculating here is that they were doing more. They were doing like snowboarding. They were doing like rock climbing and all that shit. So I like the idea that they're doing an approach where they're going like exploring other areas.
That's what I liked. When I first seen the trailers, I was like, oh, I said, we just don't live in the surfing era anymore.
We don't.
Surfing is really went downhill. It's not really nothing that a lot of people, unless you're really a local person, like you live in California, you might do the surfing feel to it, but really surfing has really went downhill.
Well, not to mention in the original film,
snowboarding and like what they showed, like what's in the movie, was more modernized.
It was, yeah.
So I knew I was like, they're gonna have to explore more of a different realm of doing things because they can't just do because if people seen the originals are just basically it just showed pretty much it was mainly about mainly surfing, and they had a lot of jumping out of planes.
Well, that and bank robberies.
Well, I'm talking about a sports.
Well, sports, yeah.
This new one, they're exploring some kind of a ancient realm. Pretty much, they got to do something adventurous compared to everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Which on paper that sounds fine, but okay, as the story goes like this, instead of pretty much giving Johnny Utah, his character, a name, the movie starts with him and his brother in the very beginning, and they're on Rocky Mountain.
Yes.
So you get the idea.
Which was really weird because that starred a really big actor,
Max Steroff. He was on Bates Motel. If you ever watched Bates Motel, he played Norman Bates' brother.
He's also in, I think, Cheap About a Dozen.
No, he's in Pacifier.
Pacifier, that's what it was.
But by the way, this will contain very major spoilers, so if you don't want to watch this when we get to the end, do not fucking watch it.
It's kind of hard to rant about a movie without spoiling details and stuff, so it's kind of hard.
It's going to be quite a mess when we get through here. But anyway, the story goes like this, that the character Johnny Utah, who's now played by Luke Bracey, he goes through an experience of his brother where his brother gets accidentally killed off the roof. He falls down, and then for some reason, he waits fucking 7 years later to join the FBI.
Okay. Yeah, here's this thing. Pretty much, if you guys remember the original, in the original, Keanu Reeves' character, which is Utah, he pretty much has never done anything in his life in any sport
except football. He was a football player,
but he builds himself up to be in doing the other stuff.
Yeah.
In the original, Utah is a what do you call it, BMX biker,
Football player.
motocross.
No, in
This one.
Oh, in this one, yeah, he's
a
motocross, snowboarding, I think.
He's what do you call them? Extreme sporting enthusiast.
Yes.
So he's done this. So his brother, which was really stupid because it's obviously what happens to his brother that I don't think anybody would try because you guarantee death if you miss this. So I really thought that was kind of a stupid way of going. Maybe they should have done more like if you ever seen Vertical Limits, where at the beginning they're rock climbing and then the dad falls. They could have done something like that because really, I'm seeing a guy, Utah and his brother are jumping off of this one area. They jump over 1,000-foot drop off and they trust themselves to land on it's no bigger than this fucking table rock.
Yeah.
I don't buy that because I think even Evel Knievel would never try this.
No.
Brother does. They both do it. The brother falls off. He dies. It goes that sad emotional thing where he had off a cliffhanger where the girl falls to her death. You're supposed to get that feeling. But anyways, like you said, the guy quit sporting and doing motocross because of losing his brother, so he gets into law enforcement.
He waits fucking 7 years to go. Okay. Yeah. I understand, but here's my biggest problem is that, why wait 7 years? That's quite a long time to actually go into join the FBI when, you could have done it like after a few years. Because it really,
I see where they did the 7 years. It takes like 4 to 6 years to get in the FBI. You have to go to schooling. And that's why they did the 7 years.
Okay, then maybe, yeah.
That's why.
He joins up and he's recruited by...
Not to cut you off, but here's another thing. The question is, when his brother fell, what made him want to
That's what they never fucking explain.
Why did he want to go to law
enforcement? How does that have to do with law enforcement?
Yeah.
I understand, he's pretty much wanting to be more into getting into being undercover work and everything, actually getting into adventurous shit. But they don't really have any build-up as to why he actually joins the force.
Yeah, I see that. I kind of question that, too, because, my brother falls off a cliff. I want to be an FBI agent.
Yeah, it doesn't... No.
So I will say that, yeah.
But, okay, so he gets recruited by Delroy Lindo's character, who is the equivalent of Johnny C. McGinley from the original movie. And then he gets recruited by a very pointless Ray Winstone's character, who's supposed to be the Gary Busey equivalent, which I get... Not to compare any movies, but they really make this character fucking pointless.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on this one. They do make him pointless. I really think that they should have just went ahead and got the Gary Busey's character, not even put him in the movie. They should have never put him in the movie because basically he reports to the guy like 3 times the entire movie, but only for 1 minute scenes. So what they should have done was just kept the communication with him and the black dude.
Yeah, that would have made more sense because really this character that he reports to doesn't, other than probably the final act they do when they go to the bank robbery, this character does nothing throughout the whole fucking movie.
He doesn't. Yeah.
I mean, most of the... Well, okay, we'll go on. But anyway, he gets recruited with them, so their mission is to infiltrate this gang, or these extreme sports fanatics that are going in to do all the 8 realms or whatever.
Yeah, there's what it is they bring it up in the original with Patrick Swayze, but they don't go into detail. This movie decides to maybe put it more detail as part of the plot, which I'm interested in. It's something that we were anxious to know in Point Break, but in the first one, but now they use it because they didn't want to carbon copy that, not doing it like they did with the original. So what it is these 8 realms. These 8 realms is pretty much these guys are they're kind of like hippies, I guess.
Are.
Because
they're all into spirituality.
They're into land, trees, water, spirit, like you said, spirits. They're they want to they're also extreme enthusiasts, but this movie does lack a lot of dialogue in the background.
They are.
You're just jumping in the movie and scene for scene. So I got to bitch about that too. But other than that, there's these 8 realms. Basically, they go to 8 different parts of the world, and they got to do something very extensive that nobody can conquer. I guess they said it's 99% of the people die doing these. So they try to conquer conqueror of the wind, conqueror of the water, conqueror of the air, and stuff like that. And if they can conquer these, which is really weird because it's kind of bothers me a little bit is if they're assumed that if they conquer all 8 of these, then they live in nirvana or that their life is nirvana.
Which not to be jumping here, but
Yeah.
they stay very inconsistent too because they obviously do things that they can easily get caught with.
Yeah.
Not to mention, as the film goes on, they start doing things that don't even really fit with their that don't even go with their motive. Like, for example, there's a scene where they're having a big battle and they're killing like innocent people. It's like these guys flat out said they didn't want to do violence. So now I understand. No, I know this is comparing the original film because they flat out did that, but compared to the original film they actually they went berserk because they had no time. You know, they actually had to do things in a fast way.
But when they said they're going to capture the Nirvana and all that stuff is why they want to do all this. But there's here's where I have a lot of problems. This movie basically like I see what they're trying to do, but they're not really explaining very well what they're trying to do.
These characters
there's an Asian dude at the beginning who did. There's an Asian dude. You'll find out. He's the guy who got closest to the 8 realms, and he ended up dying on the final one. I think they said.
I think so. Yeah.
He was on his 8th realm. He ended up dying.
And that's the same that they talk about fulfilling his legacy.
Yeah, they were to fulfill his legacy, which there's a connection with him and a girl in this movie. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But he dies, and it's pretty much like this movie kind of feels like a Dark Knight Rises type thing. What they were trying to do, where the girl is what's her name, Tamara in that
forgot
movie.
Her fucking name.
And then it was in Rises. They're trying to.
On Rises, it was Talia.
So you got a girl that's trying to be like Talia. Then you got Brody, who's the Patrick Swayze's character in this one. He's pretty much like Bane, and they want to fulfill the father's legacy, which the Asian dude who dies in this movie is equivalent to Ra's al Ghul, where they're trying to fulfill his destiny. Though I don't like that theory because that's a good theory, but the thing is unless you really dig deep, you don't see that.
No, it's poorly written.
Yeah, it's poorly written because you just jump into that.
No, and they don't even develop their characters right because I'm sorry, this girl they have in the movie, they hardly even fucking use her besides being hot around the main character.
Which, by the way,
they don't really dive into her story.
Which is, by the way, the girl from Bedtime Stories, the blonde girl from Bedtime Stories.
Oh yeah, Teresa Palmer, I think.
Yeah, the British girl.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I think she was in I Am Number 4. I think that was.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't tell you.
That was a good movie. But anyways, so yeah, we're in the scene. You know, it starts off like the thing I had another problem with. I would have liked to see all what creates these realms. But instead, this movie starts off with them captured their 4th realm. So they've already been doing it for a while.
It's very rushed. No, here's another
wow, you're already on your 4th realm?
And here's another thing I hate more than what you probably did.
Yeah.
Okay, I know this is not trying to go verbatim from the film, and this is just going purely as a film. I have a hard time believing these guys are hardcore criminals because every scene that it cuts to is them literally on the fucking security cams. They talk about events that are happening, but they hardly even fucking show them. Yeah. I'm sorry, you can't have these hardcore criminals that are doing what they do best because throughout this entire film, it's just them doing sports shit all the time. Yeah. When you're having off-screen things, you lose the focus of your characters.
Yeah. I didn't. Well, the thing is,
that bothered me a lot.
Yeah. What bothered me is the realm part. Well, like they were on like their 4th realm already, and like that was like the beginning of the movie. I'm like, so we missed the other. How they got to that 4th run.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, that was
bad editing too.
Yeah, I was like, wow, they didn't put the others in the movie. They decided to start the 4th round and then say by the when they were showing us in the security that they did the other 3. They're like, oh, he did the first one, he did the second.
They jumped right into it, you know. It's
I was like, damn, you're already in a 4th one. I said, so we don't get to see the starting of why you want to do this.
Yeah.
So I kind of complain about that. I thought the movie could have also did instead of like maybe the brother dying, which was really pointless. Maybe they should have started off with the Asian dude.
Yeah, that would have been more interesting.
It would have made sense why they want to capture that realm.
Well, not just that, but okay, as the film goes on, you start to see that Johnny Utah is trying to get involved with Bodhi and his guys because Bodhi saves him in the surfing, and that first of all, that doesn't even mean the fucking movie because there's only 2 scenes we'll get to later. There's only 2 scenes of surfing in the whole movie. The rest of it, it's all mountain climbing, motocross racing, snowboarding, all this in one scene of the plane jumping out. That's from the remake, from the original. But other than that, they keep going on. So he gets involved with them, and they want to do all this sports shit to prove his mind. But here's my biggest problem with that. They over-fucking do it. I'm sorry, but I got very bored watching the same shit throughout the entire film. Okay, granted, it's visually stunning. I'll give them that. It is visually beautiful. But the fact that they keep overdoing it when scenes that he can clearly do it, there's no point to it. Literally, he already knows how to do all shit, so why fucking do it when he's already doing them?
I do like the variety of sports. I disagree on the variety of sports. I want to see that because at least with having a variety of the sports, I wouldn't have to see like a great carbon copy from the original, which only focused on surfing. I didn't want to see a surfing movie.
No, I understand you're trying to branch out, but they show too much. Now I'm talking about when he finally joins the crew, he's still doing more sports shit, like more extreme sports. I'm like, okay, we just had a scene a minute ago where you clearly are trusting these guys, so why are you still doing this? And even when they cut to that scene where that dude falls off, there's no impact. We don't know who that fucking guy was. I thought it was one guy that came in later. Like they never explained that.
Yeah, they do have poorly dialogue. They didn't spend much time on the dialogue with their characters, which I do have an issue with the movie. But I don't have an issue with the variety of the sports because I did want to see a lot more. In fact, that was what kind of kept me from like focusing on the movies because I'm a big sports fanatic guy myself.
Yeah.
And I like the whole, the thing, and I see what they were doing. Now I do have a problem with I see what you're saying on this part. I do have a problem with. All right. So in the original, when they do the sports, they're whatever they're doing, they are also committing a crime while they're doing it.
They're doing it.
And in this one, they do that in like 1, but then we get 3 ones where they're just capturing realms. They're trying to rob anybody. It's now becomes a hippie movie because the other 3 are like, we just want to capture the realm. We're not trying to break the law.
Not to mention, there's a scene where you see clearly there's an off-screen Ray 2 that happens when Bodhi is sleeping with the girl, and the next scene he's going to the fucking dock and talking to his buddy Papa's played by Ray Stevenson.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, Ray Winstone. Excuse me, Ray Winstone, and they mentioned that there was an event that happened off screen that they fucking were gonna rob.
Yeah.
So I'm like, where the fuck was Utah?
Okay, so as you know, it's predictable because we've seen the original. Utah gains trust for the group, and when you're gaining that trust, they pretty much state that they don't go anywhere without each other. Well, you have the scenes, pretty much where the girl comes in, which you guys remember the original, the short-haired girl from Free Willy.
Yeah, Lori Petty.
Lori Petty. But this one, they lack a lot of detail about her, and which is people need to understand this is very important. Why I don't like that is that they should have focused on this girl in the new one because we come to find out that Asian guy who started all these realms, that's her dad. That's her father.
Now, keep in mind, there might be some details that might be not right on this one. Like this one, I can't confirm if that was her dad. They might have mentioned it, but I have to look it up again.
They said that was her father. But because she goes about like she sits there with the guy with Utah, and she's like, yeah, my father. He's trying to get more details on Brody, and he's like, what are they trying to accomplish here, other than rob? And she goes, well, he's trying to capture all the 8 realms. And she goes, my father, on his final realm, he passes away. He died in the middle of his 8th realm, and my boyfriend's, which is Bodhi, which she fails to mention his name
that's
in the
not
movie.
even established in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
The only scene we see her with them is
when she holds his hands with her.
On the cruise when we first meet them. Other than that, they have no other scenes where you can clearly tell they're together.
There's only one scene that shows that they're really truly together is actually not just the cruise scene. When they're at the cabin.
Yeah, when they're doing the grace thing, but that could just be like any other.
Well, he was smiling. They had that quick smile, but that was about it. But anyways, she's an important character, but yet is only probably in the movie for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, like literally, all she is, and
that's basically sex scenes
in their dialogue.
And their dialogue, where they actually I bitch a lot about is where they're sitting down and they're talking a little extensive amount of time about not just about the important shit, just about like I don't know, really stupid shit don't need to be in the movie.
Okay, they bring up the whole you got to reach your breaking point line from the original, which I thought, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, that line should only be referring to fucking surfing. It has nothing to do with extreme sports. I found that out.
But anyways, they lack on her, and they come to find out that the realm part, this girl, that Asian dude's her father, which I do kind of bitch about because she has no Asian.
No, she looks more like Australian or Venezuelan look. She's kind of tan looking.
Plus, she looks like Shakira.
But not to mention, her accent was fucking weird. I couldn't tell what kind of accent she had.
She was trying to talk American, but I kept hearing her British or Australian.
She
accent slipping out on her.
You could hear that she had like a southern, like Australian kind of sound. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like one of those things, like kind of like what happened with what's another example? Kind of like you get our actors that are trying to pull it off, like Tom Hardy did in Mad Max Fury Road, where he's kind of slipping in too many accents. Mm-hmm. You know, it's out of focus and it just sounds weird.
So they don't focus on her too much, which kind of bothered me because she actually is more needed in the story because they're trying to capture her father's legacy.
Yeah,
and for some, that's like it's her father's legacy, so it becomes hers. But yet she's only in a talking scene where they go swimming, which was beautiful.
That was visually good.
And then she starts kissing over Utah, and it's like. But I have a problem with that because she comes up to Utah for the first time. Hey, who are you? Da-da-da. She goes, "Do you want to go swimming?" They swim, and then all of a sudden, right, this was when you were in the restroom. Then they come out of the ocean, then they start kissing. Like, you just met the motherfucker. I said, where's the dialogue? I think you're good looking, or where's that at?
Well, not to mention they didn't really give her anything to do too.
Yeah.
Other than this twist that comes later in the film, because I'm not trying. It's kind of hard to stock comparisons with the original because this character, the reason why it worked better in the original is because she was actually teaching him to surf. She actually had a purpose.
Yeah, she had a purpose.
That.
Yeah, I do. I do got to say the girl part had no purpose. I mean, they tried to, but then they didn't use her at all. They just kept saying, it's like somebody had a fucking poster and what should have just walked out on screen and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is her daughter." I mean, that's what it was equivalent to. It's just like they're trying to make you like they kept telling you the most important shit, and instead of showing it and building up the visual story, they just when they want to like have a backstory, they just have somebody just tell you the backstory.
Yeah.
So I did kind of bitch about that too.
Really, there's a lot of scenes in this film where it's just exposition dialogue where they're already explaining shit that's already happened. I'm sorry, even as a filmmaker, if I was to make a film, I'm not going to just explain shit throughout the whole film. I'm going to actually show you.
That's why. That's what the problem is.
They lack substance.
Yeah, they lack showing it. They do get what I like to call lazy writing and lazy directing. It's when you take out long key elements that really in real life actually is really important to the story.
Yeah.
If you visually see it. And then they just pretty much have somebody explain it.
Yeah, I'm like,
so no. I do bitch about that. That movie does have a lot of that, which kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Okay, but also, I'm going to say this right now. I mean, you probably liked him better than I did, but I really didn't care about Luke Bracey as Utah. Because, first of all, the guy, I felt he was just come across very stellar. I mean, not stellar, very wooden in parts, and plus he didn't have that same kind of charisma like you see like a regular action star play. He just felt very one-note, and he just my biggest problem with the character Utah is that this motherfucker's like Superman.
Yeah.
He shows no vulnerability at all.
I'll get to that part, but
no, I'm just saying overall he shows no signs where he has fear.
So that's not that's not the character. That's not the actor's fault. That's that fucking writer's fault for making him.
Well, no, I'm talking even as an actor, the guy just seems like he has no range.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have much emotion either.
I'm going to disagree on the people who they chose to play in the movie, and only because I was actually glad that we're not seeing a movie where you get your typical Vin Diesel, Chris Pratt, Chris Pine, fucking just Channing
Yeah.
Tatum. I'm glad that because if that's I felt like if they would have put any of them type people in there, then the movie would have been shit. I'm glad that they went with a newer guy.
But see, another thing.
I like the dude though. I do like that guy.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I mean, if you're gonna make a character very, a likable lead, someone that gives us everything, you have to have someone that is at least charming. And that's what he had. He lacked charm.
Okay, maybe he lacked charm, but then again, he's in like the original.
I'm talking about just as a general action, just as someone that we can root for, someone that at least puts us in the right, mindset as an action guy.
Yeah.
This guy, I'm talking about as overall action, was flat.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have not wanted Chris Pine or Chris.
No, I'm not saying that. Just somebody that seemed like they know.
Yeah, but who would they really get? Everybody else on that list is a mainstream actor. They would have gotten Channing Tatum would have been their next choice. And I would not want to fucking see that because that movie would have been even worse shit. In my opinion, it would have been even worse shit than this guy. I think this because Channing Tatum. I think I read somewhere he was possibly offered for the role. I don't know if that's 100% correct, but if it was true, don't hold me on that. But if it's true, then I'm glad they went with this guy because Channing Tatum, no.
Yeah, I don't like Channing Tatum either. I agree with that.
Because, they didn't have a broad range of actors they wanted for this role, and I believe the list of people were horribly, ugh. I'm glad this guy got it over these guys. I had no problem with I
didn't mind the other guy, the guy that played Bodhi, because he did seem like he was at least trying.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And he was kind of creepy, which I kind of liked that a little bit.
He did seem like he had some charisma more over the guy that played Utah.
Yeah.
And also, I like Ray Winstone, but he was just completely wasted in this movie.
Winstone's character should never. That's the cop, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that cop Busey's character should not have been in this.
Yeah.
That should never have been in this.
Other than that, the rest of the guys that's on Bodhi's crew are just really just.
Okay, I don't want to go into. I don't want to go into details on what really goes on. I'm really anxious to get to this part. Now I'm gonna say this, and let me say this because I wanted to rant about this. Like he didn't like the movie. I had I'm not saying I liked it. It was amazing, but I still was like, okay. I'll got some nitpicks, but I'll fix it later. But judging by a guy that didn't have a problem with the movie until the last fucking 20 minutes.
Oh,
talk about the most.
God.
I'm talking about a movie, and this is a guy. Just go for my point because unlike him, who did this flatline, he didn't like the movie. I'm a guy who had some likable things. That 20 minutes went. This is probably one of the most collapsed movie I ever seen. The last 20 minutes was the most awful piece of shit. So they go and decided to get his. This is supposed to be his final realm, but then they mentioned before they go to this place, he didn't capture the surfing realm because he had to stop for Utah, and save you, so he didn't get to do the fourth realm.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to redo the fourth realm, which pisses me off. I'll get to that. So the eighth realm, which is his final realm, is he has to. The dude has to climb Angel Falls or Victoria Falls. Angel Falls, which everybody knows is in Venezuela.
Yeah.
This falls is supposed to be about as high as Mount Everest.
Yeah, it's fucking big.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like thousands and beyond thousands. In fact, it's so high up there that you can't see literally the top because it's literally in the clouds. Yeah, it's literally in the clouds.
It is, yeah. There's no, that is a very high way to climb up to.
I think they said that it would take I don't want to go into details and get it all fucked up. I know that it's so high up there that planes literally have to change their elevation when they're flying. Like, they could be flying in our skies, but if they have to go to Venezuela, they may end up having to go another 5,000 feet higher because that shit really goes all the way up in the fucking sky.
Yeah.
The highest point in the world, I believe. Well, anyways.
So they get to close to their final heist, where the whole plan is to smuggle their goods from these guys on this cargo, whatever they're carrying, and then in this realm that they're going to. And so they do this. Okay, first of all, another bitch I'm gonna get. Well, I'm talking about the scene leading up to that.
Okay, there's a scene that they literally, they're right. The one that they don't do anything
mountain,
with.
The mountain one where they're shooting the guys, and then all of a sudden, I'm sorry, no, it's the bank robbery scene. They do the bank robbery scene because I forgot it's a remake, so we have to do the fucking bank robbery.
I gotta bitch about this bank robbery scene. So in this movie, instead of just randomly bank robbing, they refuse to do like they have to do.
They don't do extreme sports. They just drive there.
For every time they rob something, they will not rob something unless they can get something extreme sports out.
Like in the beginning, they use motorcycle bikes to go out and use parachutes after they rob the bank.
It has to lead up to something that they know that can do something adventurous to. In this bank robbery scene, instead of doing that, they just randomly just want to run out with the money. That's not what they do, because in the whole movie, if like say that they want to rob this, they will not rob this bank unless, if we rob this bank, we can do something extreme sporting over there to get away. They will do it when it involves that. If it don't involve that, then they don't want to do it.
They don't do it because...
But they do it, though.
It's like, okay, now
it's a pointless
literally
thing.
all they're doing is just copying verbatim from the original here. Because in the original, you had him, but the difference here is that Utah was actually with them doing the bank heist, and this one, you have him going after them.
Not to mention, whenever they're doing their realms, I do bitch about this one. Well, then again, what's his face goes with them most of the time. But when he's not going with them most of the time, it's really easy in movies to get around the world really fast.
Yeah, it's like they find them so fucking quick. Because clearly, they go from one scene where they're having a hard time, like looking for them in the actual mountains, but when they show up at a fucking bank heist, it's like they're there in seconds.
Yeah. So I want to get back to the scene with the Angel Falls. So this is the final realm. They're the climate. I read a lot of National Geographics. I like to read a lot of various stuff like that.
This is fucking bad.
I know. First of all, you're not really allowed to rock climb it, and if you do, you gotta get like special treatments, whatever. Anyways, I know overall the mountain is supposed to be like the climb that steep is almost really. It's actually, I think it's been proven impossible. I don't know, but anyways, they get up there, and not only that, I think people who attempt it said it can take up to days to do it. Yeah. They do it in like an hour, and there's no fucking way to climb that in an hour.
Not to mention,
to
go back for a minute. Oh, I gotta get to this. The fucking action scenes where you have the shootouts and all that, where it actually gets into the crime, everything. The editing is so sloppy in these scenes because literally there's a lot of quick cuts where all the shit keeps going down so fast because it's PG-13.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what kills us.
It does, yeah. But anyway, going back to the Angel Falls, I get what you're saying. Yeah. They're literally climbing up there, and here's where they break the fucking inconsistency. They're climbing up there. One guy, their guy falls. He says that he kind of changes the line from the original where the dude falls out of the plane and says, it's like, see you in hell, Utah. And then it says, see you soon. Okay, this guy drops flat out almost like 100 feet down or something. Like way down.
Dude, no.
Far enough. Like 300, 400
No, they're like at the top of that summit.
It's probably,
I'm going to just take an estimate guess. I'm going to look it up here in a little bit. But I believe it's anywhere from 5,000 to 15,000 feet in the air.
Okay.
So 5,000 to 15,000 feet in the air.
15,000 feet, yeah.
So let's just say that he's halfway. If it is 15,000, say he's about 5,000, 6,000.
So he drops flat down where this waterfall is, and he goes right in the water. Okay.
Okay.
Then we come
But then again, they're also doing impossible climbs, like that part where like they're like almost up there, but then like that ledge kind of comes out a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I could tell that you would easily slip and fall.
No, there's no way you can hang on shit, especially when the rocks are very loose. You can't do that shit.
Well, it's not only that. They don't really give you any kind of leverage to grab on.
No, I mean,
so it's like
because all they had is just bare hands.
Not to mention the guy that falls to his death. They try to give you that emotional impact that he's fallen, but
we don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah, you don't really know who the fuck he is. That kind of really doesn't.
Okay, so when they get up there, here's what kind of drew the line for me. They get up there, right? Mm-hmm. He confronts Bodhi about what he's doing. First, I thought this was going to be the ending.
Oh, yes. Let me talk about this. We thought this was going to be the fucking ending. If this would have ended like this, I would have liked it a lot better. Should have done it. because you know that if you're gonna fall off that mountain, it's over with. I don't give a fuck. There's nobody survived it. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's like falling out of the
Fucking Mount Everest and then landing on a trampoline.
Yeah,
you can't fucking survive.
Yeah. So, anyways, we think this is the end because they do promote this scene a lot in the trailers, and I can actually buy this as an ending because it's not going to be a carbon copy or anything. So, Bodhi, he falls off.
He's like, see you soon,
see
buddy.
you soon, Bodhi, and then Utah jumps
fucking
off.
Jumps like an idiot, say, no, I gotta do it too. So they jump off.
They literally fall 15,000 feet
down, and then they
survive.
and then he fucking Utah survives like he's Superman. I'm like, no,
there's a fucking
no.
scratch right here on Utah's head.
You don't even see any pain. And Bodhi, his body somehow got lost somehow.
Well, Bodhi lived.
Well, he lived, but they said they didn't find his body.
Yeah, so he ran.
He was still floating, I guess.
Okay, let me mention this part because I really want to take this part off. Okay. This is probably the worst editing I've ever seen in a movie. This is not going to be my worst of movie, but this editing, if I was to talk about endings alone, this is probably going to be one of the worst editings from one scene to another I ever seen in my life, and I'm going to mention this right now. So, surviving the impossible, fucking Utah has a scrape on his fucking head falling 15,000 feet.
Yeah.
So, it's just when they thought it couldn't get any worse. They sit there and are talking. They find out that Bodhi is an FBI agent.
Which, granted, that could make sense.
That could
make sense because throughout the film, Bodhi is pretty much on the impression that he knows that Utah is an FBI agent. He's just fucking with him. He's testing him. He's like, all right, yeah, this is me. So
he left that out on the Angel Falls. Bodhi turns around and says, "I know you're in the FBI. I knew it the whole entire time.
We knew where you were from Paris."
Yeah, because he goes, "We looked into you, and then we find out he was an FBI agent." All right, let me go.
Okay, but anyway, we literally cut from them talking to him to 17 months later.
Or no, check this out. You could do that in movies. This is how bad the editing is. We cut from them him and Winston sitting down talking. Literally cut from that, right? We go from that to the middle of a hurricane. Doesn't make no sense. With it saying 17 months later, but we're in a perfect storm.
Yeah, it looks like perfect storm. And
hurricane. We literally have no build up to that. We go from like, hey, it's like eating dinner. I'm gonna sit here and I'm eating dinner. I'm making a movie and I'm eating dinner.
Yeah.
And he's my director. I'm sitting there eating dinner, and then we go from that to me rock climbing. There's like, what is him eating dinner? How does that come? How do you put that together? This is the worst scene for scene editing I've ever seen.
Now, they would have had a scene where they're investigating, like, okay, he did say, okay, here's what they should have done. They should have an earlier scene where Bodhi should have mentioned something about a hurricane somewhere hidden, and that would have had to seen us cutting to Utah with the boss, talking about, okay, I think we know where it's going. And they see something on the news about Bodhi going somewhere where it's hurricane.
Or no, how about this? Okay, so he hears. What they should have done was, in the movie, he finds out that the fourth realm, which was the surfing they were doing, that he hears that one fail, so he has to do that again, right? So he remembers that. So what it should have done was he cut his losses and figures he lost. He goes home. So you should have had Utah at home. He's watching TV. And he's sitting there, you get the emotions of I feel defeated.
Yeah.
And then he sees on the news about a hurricane, one of the biggest waves ever in a hurricane. And then he starts down. He goes, and he remembers her saying he didn't finish the fourth realm. And then that's when he's like, he's gonna be there. And then that's what they should do. They don't do that. They go from sitting down at a rock quarry, from falling off the Angel Falls, the impossible, to boom, on the wave. I'm like,
and that was the importance too, because he literally spent 17 months going after him, comes out of a helicopter,
just to talk to him for 1 minute,
says 3 lines, and then he leaves. I'm like, what the fuck? No, you don't spend 17 months just to have a guy kill himself.
Yeah.
Because literally, we go from there to him literally going, all right, I got to get on a surfing board, so I'm going there. It's like,
I'll be honest with you, I would have never, because we don't live, all right. Point Break made that movie. The original made its movie for one reason. surfing. Why they made it for the surfing? Why they made surfing as his theme? The theme was because surfing was big around that time. Surfing is not as big as the time. He should have been in the fourth realm. Whenever at the beginning of the movie when they are surfing, that should have been the only surf scene.
Exactly.
That should have been the only surf scene.
Because it's a remake, we had to go from the original.
Angel Falls, him saying goodbye and having that emotional jump off the fall scene back like that should have been the fucking
because that would have made sense because they built everything up to him actually confronting his spirituality and everything. Does fucking surfing have anything to do with that?
No.
I mean, I'm saying because
when he falls off the angel, it makes sense because most of the movie is based off mountains.
Exactly.
It's got its own theme, so it's smart. It's smart. Brains would have thought, all right, if we made the original made surfing movie, so Patrick Swayze dies at the end surfing. That was its whole entire thing, was to capture a thing that was back in the day. This one was about mountain climbing mainly, is what most of the adventures was about, rock climbing.
But also the reason why that worked is because Keanu Reeves' character, John Utah, in the original, he actually was there to arrest him. He actually catches him with the fucking handcuffs. No. He's not going anywhere. He just lets him go.
No, what I was talking, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like, as shown, like Point Break really actually did what the reason why they came up with the surfing was they came up with a theme.
Right.
The theme was surfing.
Well, it was about him being free.
Patrick Swayze dies by surfing. The new one's mainly a lot about rock climbing, mainly a lot of climbing, a lot of snowboarding. Everything that's in the new one is about mountains. It would have made sense for the dude to fall backwards off a mountain,
and they did.
Yeah, they don't. They have to do the carbon copy from the end, which doesn't make no sense because there's literally nothing to do with surfing.
Yeah,
this movie does not have to.
And then the movie just goes to him on the slopes at the very end in his hometown.
Like if I was a helicopter dude that brought Utah out there in the middle of a fucking hurricane, that dude came up after just 2 minutes. I'm like, dude, you're about to kill my ass over bringing you out here for 2 fucking minutes?
Yeah.
I would have slapped Utah's ass and said, get the fuck back down there and die with him.
Yeah, exactly. You waste your fucking time in a hurricane. The helicopter's like, what the fuck would we come out here for?
Yeah.
You know?
Waste my fucking gas, bitch.
Yeah.
I would have I would have kicked Utah. I would have 300 his ass right off the helicopter.
And here's what I also talked about, too. Since they didn't develop her fucking character, I would have put the scene where they had to do, of course they had to do this part, the part where he's going after Utah and shoots the fucking gun in the air like in the original, which, by the way, that was probably done better than Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
But anyway, they do that scene, and that scene would have been edited better had they put that after the scene he kills her accidentally.
Oh, yeah.
That would have had a better emotional impact.
Time out. We had a perfect ending, but we left a big thing out. So, all right, guys. I like what they did to this, but I didn't get the same. All right, I want to talk about this real quick. So there's this scene where he finds him. I think it was at a resort or something. He's chasing after him. So Utah's chasing after him. The whole entire time he thinks he actually caught up with Bodhi, and he's running after him. Well, he goes after he's chasing after the person. He's after him. He catches up to the person, and he kills the person. He shoots him. He thinks he had killed Bodhi. He goes up there, he pulls the mask off, he realizes he killed the girl.
Yeah.
The sad thing is, that is awesome, but you didn't capture my emotions because you didn't give me chemistry.
You don't give any fucking character development to her either. She was a waste. She was a wasted character.
Which would have been cool if they would have done that because you don't have and even the characters don't have emotions when she dies.
They don't. Those the other fuckers that die either, especially the guys that fall off, the guy from earlier that fell off. We only cut to them. The only part that happens when they have a memorial, and then you have like this weird party scene where they build a fire in the middle of the snow,
and then a mansion suddenly up there.
Yeah, it's like
and 30,000 people.
That was weird. I was like, where the fuck did all these people come from? This is like in the middle of
nowhere.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
What is this, like Grand Theft Auto 5 where people spawn?
Yeah, it's like
yeah. But anyways, that last 20 minutes to me, I'm going to tell you right now, for anybody who made that fucking movie, if you watch people's reviews, if you're watching, you lost a lot of fucking points from me off that last 20 minutes. You already had a lot of problems going in, but
you made it worse.
But I was going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt I was gonna be nice and give you a little bit more points than I should, and probably
Yeah.
not. That fucking ending, you failed. I'm sorry, man.
It was
You failed.
pitiful.
That ending was by far one of the probably top 20 worst editing scene to ending credit I've ever seen in a long fucking time.
Exactly. You know. And
Yeah. That I mean, how what?
I was already bored.
All right, did you get in like? I want to ask the director. Were you like on like some like timeline where they wouldn't allow you to put a scene together with the other scene, or did they just tell you to just chop the scenes out and just like where you have a dinner scene, then you have a guy jumping off a cliff scene? I mean, your scenes don't make sense because they don't seem like they're together.
They don't. But
Yeah.
that, and I knew going watching the film in general, I was just fucking
Yeah.
bored by it. I thought it was just,
Yeah.
the fact that it's all, exposition dialogue bullshit and all that.
I mean, he's not a big what do you call them? Extreme
sport. No, I mean-
sport type guy.
I mean,
I'm into that.
but I will say this though. The only praise I give for the film is that
Visuals, beautiful.
the cinematography is brilliant. It
I
is
will give the
very
visuals,
beautiful.
yeah.
And A+ to the stunt guys. They did a amazing job.
Okay,
with the
guys.
stunts.
Yes, we do got to say this. So when those type movies, a lot of people don't want to spend the money, and this is really time-consuming part. But mainly, it's a lot of money. They generally just go ahead and CGI the stuff. But in this one, they literally purchase stunt guys who do these stunts for a living,
and
they actually shoot them, really doing it. Like a fucking X Games type thing. I'm like, whoa,
or like
that's pretty cool. When I found out,
there was like that movie, Extreme Ops, where they do like real stunts and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like that. I give major props to the stunt guys. They
Because
did,
they could have
really
CGI'd that.
Yeah,
but they did.
Like the scene where they're surfing, you can tell it's stunt guys, but they're still actual stunts, you know. Or the scenes where they're flying on the plane, or the scene where they're doing the snowboard and they're going like all the sloops.
And the thing is, when they're doing that, you got to also give props for them rendering the actor's face to the people. So I got it, it's the actors really doing it.
Yeah, which
so I
really
will
good.
fucking give them props on that one. That's fucking damn good, and the visuals were really, the cinematography, like I said, beautiful, and props to the people who have 100 screen screen TVs.
Yeah.
It will look phenomenal.
It would. If you own one on Blu-ray, it's a great movie to pop. It's a great visual looking film, pretty film to pop in on Blu-ray because you get the really good, cinematography.
Yeah.
It's all blue and everything. Especially the underwater scene that you're telling about.
Yeah.
Where they're underwater.
Oh yeah.
Like the beach.
There's an underwater scene I was telling about. He had to go to the restroom. Where it's when him and the girl collide for the first time, and then out of nowhere she's telling all the spiritual shit. She's like a hippie. They like to live within the land.
Yeah.
So she wants to go swimming. He jumps in with her, and then they're which was really crazy because they really stay in this underwater for a great amount of time without no oxygen, which was crazy. But anyways, I guess he could breathe for 10 minutes underwater. But anyways,
Superman.
Yeah, well, her too. Well, anyways, they're underwater, and it's really freaking gorgeous.
It is
beautiful. It's like the beach.
Can't believe that. I should have been in that part at least.
Yeah, the beach where you can see these beautiful fish everywhere. It's a visual.
Perfectly
clear
water.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful in there.
Yeah, but anyway, if I'm going to rate this film, if I would just take out the ending, I would still give it probably a 4 out of 10. It's still a very boring, forgettable movie for me. It's very predictable what goes on. You don't give a shit about the characters. It's bad fucking writing, 101, and good direction. I'm sorry, not direction. Good cinematography and stunts, but that's it. Yeah. Now, for the ending, I give that shit a fucking 1 out of 10. Or, sorry, a 0 out of 10.
If we're just going by ending grading, I would have gave 0. But we're talking about overall.
Okay, overall, I'm going to give it probably a 3.75 out of 10.
Okay. I want to explain something before I make my grading. And this is still a pretty bad grade overall. I was going to give you guys maybe a 6.5 out of 10 at first until I seen that ending, and you guys pretty much ruined that for me. I dropped all the way down, and this is being generous, and that's only because I'm a big sports thing. So I'm going to give you some edge credit on this one. It's hard for me to say this, but I should give you guys a lot lower. But I'm going to go and give you guys a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's only because I'm a big sports thing. But that ending made you guys drop from the 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, mine.
That ending was a horrible fucking ending. I
Yeah,
should
this-
give you guys a 4 overall because of the ending, but I'm a big sports person. I like sports. I like snowboarding. So I'm going to edge you guys and be the nicest ever. Give you 5 out of 10, but that ending was a 0 out of 10 for
Yeah,
me.
it's
That
still-
ending was
movie
completely
was fucking
0.
terrible for me. But
Yeah,
but-
anyways,
but
next
anyway,
up to our next review.
next review will be coming back here short. Well, not. We'll be coming back here soon with our next review, and just everybody, if it's still playing, I guess wait for it on Netflix or something to watch the cinematography and the
Yeah.
stunts. Other than that, don't waste your time on
Yeah.
this piece of shit.
Well, if you're gonna go see it, if you're not, as long as you don't go for the story, I would if you ain't rich or got the money, I would see it only for the $2 film. See it where you get to see like a theater with the visuals, because if they go home with the visuals wouldn't work
Yeah.
very well. Kind of like I was with Gravity. If I picture what it probably looked like in IMAX, but that movie sucked bad. For
I
me.
love that movie.
I didn't like Gravity.
I love that movie.
It was visually beautiful, but it was a horrible. To me, it was a horribly boring movie. But anyways, yeah.
But yeah, that's really all I've got. We'll be back next time with our next review. So we're gonna have more coming. We're keeping it consistent this time.
Yep.
So we'll see you guys later.